Well, hello, my echo casting friends. Echo cast. Yee. Whatever, man. Hey, so I have a new segment that I'm going to be doing. It's called Rant and Roll, right? And I get sent videos from Samurai, from Hans, from the Machines, from Synth Punk, from various other people, and they send me these things, and I get pissed off when I see them. So Rant and Roll is basic. Let me take this off because it's a little hot. It's hot in here, God damn it. So Rant and Roll is me basically telling it like it is. Telling it like it is. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm telling it like it is. Right? So, and then we're going to do a little bit of other things here. And I know it says Moog Muse, and that was the Moog that you heard that I was playing just now. My favorite patch, my $3,000 favorite patch. But let's see, who do we have in the chat today? Oh, we have Fonel 1986. We have the Albanian Syndicate. We've got Mark Anderson. We've got the Synth Samurai. And we have Apollo Hanzo. Oh. Yes, sir. What's going on, fellas? So I'm going to throw a question out there. Okay, here's my question. My question is, when you buy an expensive synthesizer, right? Like the Moog, like the PB12, like the Sequential, like the OB6, like blah, 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 right? Or let's go even higher. When you buy one of the Moog 1, when you buy one of those, right? They're only worth what, $6,000 now? What do you do with it? I mean, what do you buy that synthesizer for? What, in general, when you buy that synthesizer, what do you buy it for? You buy it to create, right? To create sounds. Maybe there's some patches and presets on there that you really like. So what do? You play them and you create and you write music and could be your masterpiece, right? But what if you spend all that money and you it pisses me off. You spend all that money and you create a piano patch on a synthesizer. A piano patch. Why would you do that? Why in God's name, in the name of the Lord Jesus in heaven, would you create a piano patch on a synthesizer? Now, I know there are synths out there, like for instance, the Juno X. It's a player keyboard, right? The original Juno 106 was a player keyboard, and it had like slight piano patches on it, but it was analog. And, that comes with a ton of like electric pianos and, I don't know about grand pianos. I haven't come across any of those on that yet, but maybe there is. I don't know. I don't purchase synthesizers for piano patches, right? Mr. James Dyson, sir, how are you? We've got Andrew Paytech. Who else we got? Traded to the Living, sir. Good evening. We've got the was it the C-Bone, the Trebone? 1979. All right. Yo. Yeah. So, I mean, why would you do that, right? Why would you get an analog synthesizer, a beast of a synth, right? The Moog Muse is a beast of a synthesizer. No, I'm not a big fan of it, but I am a big fan of Arturia, but the Arturia Polybrute 12, beast of a synthesizer, right? Why in God's name would you do that? I love piano. Trust me. There's nothing like sitting behind a decent piano patch and enjoying myself playing it. And I play piano all the time. Sometimes that's how I create. I'll just stop playing around with the piano, and then I'll come up with a melody and blah, 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 and then I'll add synths or whatever, right? Many different ways to create, many different ways to get inspired by. So, that being said, I'm going to play this, okay? And I don't know who this person is. I mean, he's got a lot of followers. He's got 6,054 subscribers. It's a lot of people. It's more than what I have. But why? Let's listen, shall we? Okay. Beautiful playing. I mean, he's playing the piece very beautifully. Very beautiful. Sounds amazing. Why would you do that? Look at that beast. It just says, let me go wild and let me be free and let me be the synthesizer that I was meant to be. You know? Well, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, yeah, it sounds beautiful. Made Samurai cry. It says, a tear in his eye. He's teared up already. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Why would you buy the PB12 and create a piano patch? Okay, the versatility to show that was amazing, right? Yes, you could create a beautiful grand piano patch on an analog synthesizer. Wonderful. But why? I've got plugins that emulate or they're virtual, they're samples of a Bosendorfer or a Yamaha. Why? Oh, Andrew, thank you so much. Was it say, the French synthesizer is nice. However, there is nothing like the Moog. I haven't had a chance to try out the Muse myself yet because they're never on display, but I'm sure the Muse is amazing. Yes, it is. I never played it either. I bought it blindly out of just watching videos. Isn't that what we do nowadays? Anywhere where you go, this is another thing. You want me to rant some more? Everywhere you go. And thank you very much for that contribution. I appreciate that. But everywhere you go, right? You go into a guitar store, there's nothing in there. I don't know any other music stores around, actually. I don't. I mean, what other music stores is there near me anyways? There isn't any. Daddy's is gone. There was a place called Mars Music. They're gone. Guitar Center is it. And I have to travel into Boston, and even Boston, I find out that they sell the demo. So you can't even play the freaking demo. So yes, sight unseen. That's what we do nowadays, right? We buy stuff and we don't like it, we send it back. It's crazy. Why would you drop $4,000 for a piano patch? I don't get it. Like I I said, I've got great piano patches that Viral Beats. What's up, man? Let me say hello to some of these people. Rock, hello, sir. How are you? Who else we got in here? We got Joe BEDM. What's up, brother? What do you got? Synth Fun. We've got Rail Aqua. Mr. Noir, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for you being here. Rest in peace, Daddy's Junkie across. Yes. I used to go to that one too. Oh, you went to Berkeley? Cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I used to go to that one. I actually worked at the one in Danvers, and I knew all the people at the one in Boston. Remember the big Elvis head, the big Elvis bust that they had in there? It was pretty cool. Daddy's was cool. You know, that's where I bought my first synthesizer. That's where I bought my Juno 106, was at Daddy's Junkie Music in Boston, you know? Should I tell that story? It's a good story. I don't know if you guys want to know that story. But I'll tell that story in a second, but I just want to get back to the rant. Okay, rant and roll, because we're going to rant and then we're going to roll. Okay, we're going to roll with it. Again, why would you want to do that? That's like, if I go to the Moog Muse right now and I play a piano patch on that, I think it's somebody slapped me. That's not why I bought that synth. I bought that synth because I wanted that Moog sound, that big, beautiful, in-your-face, punch in the chest bass, beautiful, poly-saturated sound. Was that glazing the donut hot enough? So yeah, man. Hey, what's up, George G's? Yeah, so I just don't understand. I'm gonna play a little bit more of it. Now listen, this is what I'm ranting about. If you've showed up later, let me play this. So this gentleman bought this beautiful, gorgeous Polybrute 12, and he says Arturia Polybrute 12 sweet piano pad. And this man's very talented. I don't have anything against him. I just don't understand why he would purchase this synthesizer. It's beautiful. All right, that's enough of that. So, it just aggravates me when I see stuff like this. And this is one of the things that I sit there and I go, I don't understand it. I'm not a big fan of the PB12, as you guys already know. I have to say, and a lot of people will argue this point with me, especially Synthpunk, where he just picked up a Polybrute 6. He says that, the videos that he showed, I said to him, I think the Polybrute 6 is better than the PB12. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. And all synthesizers that are analog, even though in today's market, they're tuned exactly the same out of the factory and blah, 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 but there's something different about all of them. Just like the Muse, people say, there's bugs and there's tuning problems with the Muse. I don't know why you wasted your money. Not all the Muses are like that. Thank you, God, I didn't get one like that. My Muse sounds great. Tuned it once, bang, bada boom, bada bing, done. Right? It's an analog synth. It needs to warm up, and I'm used to analog synths. And those of you who don't understand that, that's what analog synths do. You warm them up a little bit. My Matrix Brute has to get warm. It takes maybe about 10 minutes. I've got other synths in here to play with. I got digital synths that snap up. They're all ready to rock. But analog synths have to warm up. I don't have a problem with that. I'm used to that. If you've been around synthesizers long enough, that's what you know, right? Some people complain about that. Whatever, go buy yourself a friggin' Hydra. If you don't want to deal with that. You want the analog sound? There are things that you got to deal with. Not a big deal. Is it bug-ridden? Not to my knowledge. There are some people, well, I shouldn't say that. To my knowledge, there are some people that has had bugs with the Moog Muse, and all kinds of crazy stuff happen with the first batch. That's just like when you buy a car that's never been, say you buy like a BMW and you know, the BMW, they make that model BMW. They just, every year it comes out with something different put on it, right? But if they come out with a brand new version, like the BMW XY fucking 97, right? And that's what it's called, the fucking 97. And you go, oh, I got to have that. And it's the first year it's made. There's going to be problems. Okay? This is the third gen. My guy assured me that this is the third run of the Moog Muse. And it sounds great. I have fun with it. It's big, it's bold, it's beautiful. Enough with the glazing. All right. So, yeah, I just don't understand why you would do that. You want to play a piano, man, buy a fucking piano. Download a VST. I don't know why. I'm curious. Let me just see. I don't know who this gentleman is. I've never seen him.
Okay.
All right, there he is. Let's see. Videos. Let's see. What's this? Polybrew 12 cover song of Closure by Chainsmokers. Right? He also plays a Korg Oasis. I mean, Korg Oasis. There's mad piano sounds on that. Why would you buy this synthesizer for that? Let's see. What else has he got? Oh, holy moly. He's got some synths. What is this, the Moog 1? Let's see what he does with this video. I hope he doesn't get mad at me. I'm not ragging on him. And he's a player. He can play. Ambient pad demo. Oh, this is up and coming. Sorry, my bad. Let's see. Yeah, here's another. What is this? Demo variations of the Polybrute and Moog 1. Right? Oh, these aren't what I have to subscribe to his channel to get this shit? Get them. All right, I'm done with this. Forget about this guy, all right? Jesus Christ. All right, I'm done with that. Sorry about that, fellas. Ladies, gents, he, she, they, them, a fungal. Yeah, I don't. Okay. So I would just, if I were him, I would probably, and again, he's a beautiful, beautiful musician, plays piano very nicely. I wouldn't have bought that for that. That's my rant. And I'm sticking to it. I just don't know why, you would want that. So anyway, just move that out of the way. This. Yeah. Okay. Go. So anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, am I wrong? I mean, let's talk about this. What's up, Trusto? Yeah, Korgs are known to have great piano sounds, man. Let's see, what do we got? Who else we got in the chat? Mr. Vic Korftron, sir. There's the man. That's the myth. That's the legend. That's the man that made me want to buy a Muse. Vic Korftron. Check out his channel. Amazing. He's the one that I said I'm buying a Muse because of him. Plays beautifully. Plays the Blade Runner style stuff. I love it. And that's what made me say, I want that synth. And he hasn't had, knock on wood, right, Vic? No problems. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, why would you make the Polybrew 12? Noah says, why would you make, well, I don't know if you're questioning it, but you laughed at it. Polybrew 12 made General MIDI piano pad patch. Laugh out loud. Again, it's bizarre. I don't know why you would do that. It's just crazy. So what do you guys think? Do you think I'm wrong? I mean, I don't, I'm just saying, I think it's kind of crazy. Echo each to their own. This is James Dyson. Echo each to their own. There are cases for it having a piano patch on a synthesizer, like if you only have one synth. Oh, I get it. Yeah, man, I totally get it. But this man has multiple synths. He has a Moog 1. He has a Korg Oasis. He's got. I get it. I know what you're saying. Absolutely. I totally agree. If you only have one synth and you're gigging out, man, you need that piano patch and you need a bunch of strings and horns and don't buy a PB12. Sorry. You know, I mean, there's get a Juno X, get a Juno D, right? I mean, there's all kinds of synths out there. Get what was it? The Kronos, right? Korg Kronos. There's all kinds of synths out there with that stuff. And I totally hear what you're saying. And James, you know, I respect you, bro. I totally hear what you're saying. I just don't understand it. You know, and I understand what you're saying. Yes, if that's the only keyboard he has, I agree. You know, that's what he decided to go with the PB12 and said, this is my synth. This is what I want to do with it. Fine. If I was his friend or if I was the guy at the music store, I would have talked him out of it. If that was his only synth. But it's not. So, anyway. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, the Astro Crab. I mean, Astrolab. Astrolab's perfect for gigging musicians. Isn't that who it was made for? Right? I mean, you've got a plethora of sounds. You've got the entire, was it the V collection? Is that what it's called? I forget. I own it. I don't even use it anymore. You've got that at your fingertips now, which is amazing. You know what I mean? Great synth sounds. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It just drives me crazy. So, you know, when I see stuff like that, I get kind of like weirded out and I get very angry and that's what I do. I get angry. I'm an angry guy. Okay. I'm an angry Italiano. All right. That's me. Trust me, I have a bunch of videos in I call it the Hurt Locker. Okay. The Hurt Locker. That's what Rant and Roll's about. I get some stuff locked up and stored away. I got one coming up again that you know, I was going to do it tonight and I said, nah, I better not. But I got another one that I'm coming out with on Rant and Roll. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a good one. I figured I'd, you know, the other night or last night or whenever the friggin', I don't even remember when I went on. Was it last night? That was the night before. I did my first Rant and Roll on Sonic State, about Sonic State, and it just pissed me off. I went off. And I even paid $10 to go off. So, yeah, I sent them $10 so that I could yell at them because I was shocked. And go back and watch that video. It's about the Moog Muse because that's what I mainly did the thumbnail on was a Moog Muse, just like this one says Moog Muse, but then it says Rant and Roll because, again, that's a new segment to my show because I'm a very angry human being. All right, so my wife tells me that all the time. Anyway, so another thing I want to bring up here is this guy. Let's move this up for a sec. And now, those of you who aren't familiar with the Edge and the Spice, if you don't own one, Anton, I think I said his name, Enru. I've watched his stuff before. He makes patches and pads and stuff for synthesizers, and he's very good. And so I did see this. Samurai had sent this to me too, but I did see it before he sent it to me, and you know, this is very cool. I own two Edges and I own a Spice. And when I saw this video, check out James Dyson and Andy Fireblade Musa. Check out their Spice videos. They're very good, done very well. Those two guys are really what made me want to buy a Spice. You know, we all influence each other, you know, with stuff. I bought how many synths? Let's see. I bought a Toria Mini Freak because Samurai had one sent to him And I watched his demo and I said, ooh, this is kind of cool. I had the software version of it and I didn't really care for it. But now I get it because the two fuse together and it's very cool. I have to say that the Mini Freak, it's up there over my shoulder. The Mini Freak is probably one of my favorite synthesizers. I wish Arturia would come out with a bigger Mini Freak and call it the Freak. I wish they would do that. When they came out with the Astrolab and the PB12, I was very disappointed because I thought they were going to come out with a hybrid synthesizer, being the Mini Freak or the Freak. But yeah, you bought nothing. Really, bro? Really? What do you think? I'm a shill? I bought plenty, man. Let's see. Oh, Samurai bought the Ambient O. What did I do? I bought the Ambient O. Matter of fact, that night during his video, Uncle Jerry and I bought the Ambient O at the same time while we were watching his video. So, to you, bro. What else? Oh, I bought a Wasp because he had a Wasp, and I liked what, so you got to be careful hanging out with Samurai. That's all I'm going to tell you, because he makes you buy things. You get the gas meter going, and he says, oh, and I love his line. He said, I might be buying this maybe later on tonight. It's possible. I think that's what he says. And then he doesn't buy anything. And you're hanging there going, oh, I just put it in my cart. I'm buying it. But I will say, these past couple of months, he has bought a lot of stuff. So I'll give him that. But anyway, getting back to Anton's video here. I'm just going to play a little bit of this and you guys check it out. It's pretty cool. Love it because he's showing you the patches that he used, which is pretty cool. And I have a whole bunch of patch cables right now connected to mine. I haven't done this patch yet, but I'm gonna. Yeah, he does some cool stuff. Let's move it right along here. Go to another one. The really cool. I like stuff like that. It's very modular sounding, which I think is cool. I'm sure the machines run would hate me for saying that, but I think it's cool. So we'll do one more. Very cool stuff. I like it. You know, because you don't see a bunch of people doing stuff like this. You know, being able to connect them all together. I mean, they have all these little CV patch bays on them. You might as well use them, right? I mean, I started patching some stuff and having some fun with it. And, you know, when I did my first Spice demo, I just did the Spice by itself, and I did it with some pedals that I had. But I intend to dig a little deeper in this. I don't know if you guys saw my two edges and my Spice rack that I bought off of a company called, God, I forget what it's called. Synth stands or something like that. I'll look it up. I'll put it in the description. But it used to be KV Gear, I believe, was the name of the company, and he changed it. And you know, it's a great stand. It's solid. It's tall. That's the other thing. I was going to get one that was all made out of wood from a guy in, I think it was Germany or Austria. By the time I did I ordered it was $95 for it. And then by the time, you know, the taxes and all that shit and the shipping, it was like, I forget, it was like friggin' almost close to $200. And I'm like, no. I'm not spending $200 on a stand. That's not for 3 little synthesizers. That's not going to happen. But yeah, check this out. I'll play one more. I mean, stuff like that. I love doing stuff like that and just laying a pad over it or under it, things like that. So, I mean, check it out. It's pretty cool. He's got, like I said, a cool page, and he actually has a whole bunch of stuff on there. So give that a shot. Check that out, definitely. And let me move this over a second. And yeah, so again, I'll go back to the chat. I don't really like hey No Lake, what's up, man? How you doing? Guitars of Ghosts, welcome. Let's see. Inverted Popes. All right, cool. Like that. That's weird. And Culture of Ghosts. That's cool too. Welcome. So yeah, man, like getting back to the rant real quick. Again, do yourself a favor. Don't buy a $4,000 synthesizer unless it's the only one that you own. Like James Dyson said, and you're going to gig out with it and you need these patches, you need the pianos and you need the horns and things like that. But there are other alternatives out there if you're going to be a gigging musician. Look at for instance the what is it, the Montage. What a great keyboard to gig with. That thing's a beast. The Yamaha Montage. Not my cup of tea. I did own a Motif back in the day. Full blown, beautiful synth. Just couldn't get the sounds that I wanted out of it, but it did sound amazing. And Yamaha's amazing. Yamaha makes great stuff, man. They always did. But I wouldn't buy that to try to get unearthly sounds out of it. The Yamaha, what do you call it? Just lost my train of thought because I'm reading stuff in the chat. But if you're gonna buy a keyboard, don't buy a PB12 or a Muse, and that's gonna be your only keyboard, and you're gonna be gigging out, and you're gonna be playing piano patches, because you're gonna be very disappointed in it. Number one, number two, that's just me. I wouldn't do that. You know, there's plenty of keyboards out there to do that with. But if you're a keyboard collector or you're a synth guy and you buy one of those, why on God's green earth would you put a piano patch on there? You know, you buy it, you're a synth collector, you're a synth enthusiast, you're a synthesist. You're going to buy that machine because you want to get its raw power. You want to get what that machine was built for. That's the way I look at it. Some of the patches on the Muse, I'm be honest with you, suck. I would never use them. Some of them are amazing. The bass patches on here are, it's Moog. They're going to get the great Moog bass fatness out of it. But some of the patches, like the little bells and all that shit, like, I'll take those patches and I'll tweak them and make them sound all fucked up, and I don't care, because I'm not going to use the bells and stuff unless I actually have to. But I got lots of digital synths that do that. I've got we call them the three sisters. I've got the Mod Wave, the Wave State, and the Op 6 in software as well, because I'm getting rid of the hardware. And I get tons of bell sounds out of the Op 6 if I want to. Great piano sounds on the Wave State, So I mean, that's me. That's what I would do. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I don't really give a shit what other people think of what I say, because I don't. People gonna disagree with me, agree with me, argue with me, whatever. Don't spend $4,000 on a piano and create on a synthesizer and create a piano patch. No, ain't happening. Anyway, so getting back to the Moog. So let's talk a little bit about the Moog, shall we? I've had all kinds of hate messages on my YouTube channel about people giving me a hard time about the Moog. And I'll read some comments here. What do you got going on here? Synthesizers were designed to make sounds that we could never hear in nature. Exactly. I totally agree with you, Andrew. Let's see. What else we got here? Oh, the super nipple on the Moog montage. Yeah, it's it's what everybody calls it too. It's kind of funny. But I played one of those at Guitar Center, man. It's a killer synthesizer. It's a beast. Again, I'm not into workstations. Used to be. I had a Motif. I had a Korg M1. I love my Korg M1. It was one of the original digital synths that were out there at the time. But not a big. My computer now is my workstation, basically. That's what I record with, and that's what I do stuff with. Let's see what else we got here. Two Systems 8s would kick ass live. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Mark. Most definitely. Rourke Echo Craft. Will you consider filling a top 20 patches on the Muse? What do you mean, dude? Would I come up with filming a top 10 or 20? Yeah, I might do that. You have George G, you have a Korg M1? Oh, that's great, dude. I saw one used in mint condition. I was very, very tempted to pull the trigger on, but I said, nah, I can't do it. I can't. But yeah, Rock, getting back to that, that might be a good idea. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm still experimenting. I've only come up with 4 patches on it. I'm taking my time learning it. It's one of those things where, you don't just get on it and play it. I mean, you can. There's presets in there, but I got it because I want to learn how to build and design. So that's what I'm doing with it, Let's see what else we got. Andrew, love Korg M1. Also have the M1, TD3, TD2. Oh, you have the 01? You have, wow. You own those, bro. That's amazing. That's a great Korg collection right there. I have the Korg M1 VST and the original Wave State VST, and I've actually used them in because you know what the funny thing is when the VST came out for the M1, I immediately bought it because I missed some of the sounds that were in the M1. Nice thing about the M1 too is it had card slots, so you could buy these expansion cards and pop them in the back. It was very innovative at the time, and I know Roland, I believe, did that with the D50. I want to say they had the expansion slots with the little cards. The Motif also had a card, a physical PCB board or whatever it's called that you had to install to get extra sounds out of it, which I had purchased and bought. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Victor Nova, how you doing? Welcome. What would I consider recommended as a first synthesizer? Well, I mean, that depends. A lot of times people will actually get mad at me when I say this, but I'll be honest with you. My nephew wanted to dabble in electronic music, so I told him I told his parents, my other nephew, it's my great nephew, but his dad, I told him to get a Korg Mini Loog. Great little synth. Another great synth to look at would be Behringer Poly D, or even you could get him a Hydra. Those I would go with those three synthesizers for beginners. They're a lot of fun. The only thing about the Hydra is it does not have a sequencer, and I would recommend getting a it does have the arpeggiator, but I would recommend getting a synthesizer with a sequencer. That's what I love about the Mini Log, and he had a blast with it, and he learned a lot. It has a sequencer, it has an arpeggiator in it, so that's what I would recommend. Let's see. Rourke says they also just released the MS-20 clone, worth getting instead of the Poly D. Yeah, Rourke, I agree. The MS-20 is amazing. But the thing about the Poly series, so what I like about the Poly D is it's basically a Moog Muse, a Moog Mini Moog, very basic synthesis, and that's what I like about the Mini Log. It's very basic. You got your voices, and it's all laid out. You got your voices, you got your mixer, you've got your filter, and you got your effects section, and then at the bottom you have your sequencer and arpeggiator. It's very laid out, very basic, and it's less expensive. I'm just throwing that out there. That's my personal recommendation. What else we got here? Well, the Poly D is not just a mono synth. It's not just a mono synth. It's poly. That's why it's called the Poly D. Sounds great. Other people will argue that point. Let's see. Synth Sonic, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's see what else we got here. Go back up to the top here. I'm sorry, I'm just reading, guys. I'm going to read George Jesus. This is good, George. I bought my M1 from a blind man. He met Stevie Wonder at a gig and let Stevie play the M1 I own. That's a badass story, dude. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a keeper. That's got some history on it, right? You get Stevie played on that thing. That's pretty dope. Stevie's a mad keyboard player. Let's see. Yes, the Poly D would be fantastic for a synth. If you can't get recordable sounds from it, then you're doing something wrong. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Synth Samurai, what are you doing, Ed? Probably gonna order the Cream Dream next week, most likely. Most likely. This is what I'm saying, guys. Is that a maybe? Could be, most likely, not really. Because Samurai had this bet, with me on his show. He said, if you buy the Muse, I'll buy the PB12. And I'm like, okay. Sitting right there, boss. I do it all the time to you. It's right there. Most likely. All right. I won't hold my breath because I'll probably turn blue and pass out. Let's see. I made hundreds of floppies for the Korg DSS-1 using, cool. DSS-1 was cool. I remember that. Now there were back then, man, like late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, there were a lot of cool synthesizers that came out. Very expensive, very expensive. That's why, I'm a Behringer bro. That's why a lot of people say, Behringer, they copy things and they shouldn't do that. And blah, 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 blah. It's like, no. Back when I was buying synthesizers, I had to scrounge, work 2 jobs to buy a freaking $2,000. And back then, $2,000 was a lot of money. The Moog Muse hasn't, the Moog Muse, I keep saying that. The Mini Moog hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in price. It's still $5,000. It was $4,500 back then. That's crazy. So I mean, that was crazy. I must have freaking rocks in my head. So yeah, it's still a lot of money. I just, it's unbelievable because people rag on Behringer, and if you can't afford a Mini Moog, the Poly D is awesome. The Model D is amazing. There's lots of videos out there, comparison videos. I love the one guy, forget his name. The screen's black. And he says, I want you to write in the comments what you think is the Mini Moog and what you think is the Model D. And I guarantee you'll get every single one wrong. He plays patches, and you can't tell the difference. That's pretty impressive shit, okay? And it's something I've always wanted to buy, and I never do. I always say I'm going to buy a Model D, and I never do. And they're inexpensive, and they sound amazing. But it's already, I have so many analog mono synthesizers. I can't get myself to pull the trigger on it. Maybe I will one day. I don't know. Maybe if I find one for $149 on Reverb, I'll buy it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, because I have the Cat and I have the 2 Wasps, and they do the job for me. Again, great learning synthesizer, the Wasp, but you got to buy an external MIDI keyboard for it. But it's a great synthesizer to learn on. Very basic. 2 voices, very basic. Purchased an original MS-20 in 1978. It's funny expanding in knowledge. I was with a friend of mine. I used to be in a synth duo called the Fighting Monks back in the day, and we used to do, believe it or not, we used to do coffee houses, and we played Starbucks a couple of times. Can you believe that shit? But he bought, I'll never forget it, we went to Daddy's Junkie Music in Boston, and downstairs they had the bargain basement, and it was literally downstairs. And we walked downstairs, and there's an MS-20, a real one, sitting on this pile of junk, right? And so we walk over, and it had a price tag on it. I think it was $75. And my buddy goes like this. He goes to the guy that was down there. He says, "Is that for real? Like, can I?" He goes, "Yeah, man, take it. We got to get rid of it. Nobody wants it." And at that time, nobody wanted analog stuff. Everybody was all digital. Let's buy the digital synthesizers. So he picked it up. I was pissed because he saw it before me. We took it back to the studio, plugged it in, worked fine. There was nothing wrong with this thing. It looked like it had hardly been used, and they couldn't sell it. And so he bought an MS-20 for $75 freaking dollars, and yeah, plugged it in, patched it up, and it sounded great. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I don't know if he still has it, but he had a bunch of great synthesizers. That dude, he collected them. He had a good job. He bought a ton of analog stuff. I remember when he bought the JD800. I think he bought it brand new. I love that synth. What a great synth that was. What a great sound. But yeah, man, where are you going to find an MS-20 for friggin' $75, right? Crazy. I still have my Korg MS-10. Couldn't afford the 20 from 1978. Also expand. So the MS-10, that's a great synthesizer. I remember that too. I remember all that stuff, man. Yeah, I used to work at Daddy's. I worked at Daddy's Junkie Music in Danvers, and then I moved up to the Salem, New Hampshire store, and I worked up there for a while, and I ended up quitting that job, and I went back to work at this family business, and then quit working for the family, and then ended up working at Guitar Center for a while, and I was working two jobs. I was working at Guitar Center. I just gotten remarried. I was working at Guitar Center and Comp USA, and last time I worked at Guitar Center, I was on my way to work from leaving Comp USA because I used to do the night shift at Guitar Center, and I almost got into a car accident because I fell asleep at the wheel. Thank God I didn't, and I made it to work, and long story short, but yeah, that was it, Ended up quitting Guitar Center and sticking it out with Comp USA until they closed, basically. But yeah, so anyway, let me see. I'll read a few more comments here. Classic Crystal Vision. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Cool. I got a lot of new names in the chat. I love it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming in, guys. Very, very nice. I'm glad you came by. Just very cool. Let's see. I'm sorry, I missed this comment. This person is Chimerame. Made a valid point. Maybe it's to prove proof of concept to show how versatile the synth is. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Absolutely. Again, I'm not making fun of the dude. I'm just saying that's me. I wouldn't have made a video about it. But I mean, whatever. He did show the versatility, I guess, of the synth. But who knows? I'm not calling the guy a liar either. Who knows? He could have had that, could have been playing a VST. I mean, it was pretty sweet piano sound, if you ask me. It sounded like a electric grand piano, but what do I know? We got here, let's see, Classic Zork. Oh, did I miss you, bro? Oh, Zork for Zorks. How you doing, man? I missed you in there, brother. Let's see, what you got? You got, have you ever tried a guitar synth? Yes, I have. Old Gear Juno 106 and Sonic ASR 10. That's an awesome keyboard. Do you have the keyboard or is it the module? The Mirage, yeah. Alpha Juno 1 and the Casio ZZ1. CZ1. Yes, the CZ1 is very cool. I remember all that stuff, man. I loved Ensoniq stuff. Talk about bugs, though. I got to tell you, when I worked at Daddy's, we had more Ensoniq stuff come back to be repaired, but people loved them because they sounded amazing. They did. They sounded unbelievable. Nobody would part with them, even though they had to have them fixed all the time. And these were gigging dudes. These were guys who were playing out all the time. Let's see. Vic Corftron, Echo, we want to hear your 4-patch you designed on the Muse. All right. Okay. I'm not as good as you, brother. Not yet. But, yeah, let's do that. Let me switch over here. This shot. Now let's do the top down. Let's see. There we go. Hold on. Hold, please. So I call this, how original of me, wave pad. And this one I called, you ready? Echo Craft. How fucking original. Wasn't that fascinating? Shit. Hold on a sec. All right. Now this one, I know there's a guitar patch on, like an acoustic guitar patch on the Muse. I didn't really like it. So I decided to create my own and call it Muse Guitar. And what I did, now this is going to be without any plugins, as like everything you just heard was no plugins on Logic. So I'm going to just, it's an arpeggiation. I'm just going to play that. And then what I want to do is, oh, what happened here? Can you guys still hear me? Am I still coming through? Because something just glitched out on me. Are we good? Anybody? You guys give me a heads up or a thumbs up or something? Huh, that's weird. Things just got really weird just then. Okay, hold on a second. Something just glitched out on me. Yeah, that's really loud. Sorry. Yeah, something just happened. Give me 1 second. Let me just fix this, because that's really freaking loud. Okay. There is on this channel too, there is a bit of distortion. Don't know why. Hold on. Okay. All right, let's try this again. So basically, this is happening to my setup here. Okay. All right, cool. Here we go. All right. So basically, this is an arpeggiation that I did, and it has... I'm sorry, guys. I'm fixing something while I'm talking to you guys. I don't know why I'm having some issues here right now. I got a lot of windows open. That's why. All right. So I'm going to give this a shot again. And like I said, this is basically my version of an analog guitar. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on Valhalla's super massive because I just think it sounds amazing. But this is it raw with just a little bit of reverb and delay on the diffusion delay on the Muse itself. So that's without the Supermassive by Valhalla. And now I'm going to play it with Supermassive on. And what I'm going to do, see if I can get this happening. See if I can do this. Hold on a sec. All right, let's try this. Peeking out a little bit there. Sorry about that. No, I'm not making a piano patch. It's not happening, dude. Yeah, because I don't know. I was just experimenting because I do like analog sounding acoustic guitar patches because they don't sound like a guitar, and I just think it's cool how you can get that plucking sound. I don't know if you could hear that. Let me turn off Supermassive. And here, off. And I have one more patch that I finished yesterday. Back here. And this one's very appropriate for the end of the show. It's called Wave Bye Bye. kind of a sci-fi sounding sound. I kind of like it. Again, you know, just goofing around. So I got 4 patches, which isn't too shabby. Take my time when I'm kind of experimenting with pads and patches. And again, they're all initialized patches. I didn't take any from, I didn't take anything from, you know, the actual presets and just tweak them. Sometimes I do that, but not on this. This is why I want to make a full patch bank of just my sounds. Let me switch cameras here. Oh, gotta get that. Bye. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that I would come on here and do a rant and roll and show you some Muse stuff and chat with you guys a little bit in the chat. Thanks, Vic. You listen, dude, you make amazing patches, and if you mean what you're saying and you're complimenting me, I really appreciate that. Much respect, bro. Much respect, because you make the Muse talk. So I do respect that. Thank you. Synth Samurai, when is the synth showdown with Echo Craft? Ask Echo. He is ducking me. No, I'm not. I'm not really. No, I'm not. Echo, shut up. God damn it. I got to change the name of that bitch. Anyway, I'm not ducking you. We have to come up with a plan because, you know, my studio's flooded with gear and we have to do it. If we're going to do it here, we have to, in my condo, we're going to have to do it probably on the dining room table with a couple of cameras set up. So we'll figure it out. It'll happen. You know, I got to get Samurai over here anyway. I want him to play the Muse and I want him to play the Osmos. I think he'll get a kick out of it and I think he'll buy one. One of the two anyway. As it say, it says, Escores, hello, Echo, your name, your Muse. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I still have issues with my eyes, guys. Sorry. Hello, Echo, your Muse. Intro sounds dope. Samurai must be shivering in his boots. Can't wait to see the Ice Wall Man versus Echo. Yeah, the Ice Wall. Maybe we'll put him behind the ice wall for good with this showdown. Maybe that'll happen. Woo! Anyway, all right, listen. Eternian, welcome. Harmonic Sonics, welcome. And what else we got going on? Who else is in here? Ice Baby. Yeah, that's Samurai. Anyway, listen. I've got to go, but I will be doing another video probably tomorrow because I got a lot of videos stored in that Hurt Locker to do some rant and roll. If you hadn't seen the rant and roll, which some of you guys came in late, definitely go back and watch the show at the beginning and you'll see what I was ranting about. Check out the previous video. That was my first rant and roll, and it's a doozy. The next one's going to be funny because I'm so done with this kind of crap. But I'm not going to give it away, and I don't really care. You know, if I offend anybody, whatever. You know, people offend me all the time. Do I care? No. Do they really offend me? I don't know. I don't really get offended. I get angry, and I you know, I just turn around and basically, you know, I'm Italian. I don't get mad. I get even. You know, what are you gonna do? Hey, what are you gonna do, eh? All right, listen, guys, I got to run. I want to continue making some patches on the Muse and hope to see y'all tomorrow in the Kumite. I'll be co-hosting it with Mr. Samurai tomorrow. He asked me to co-host it with him like we did last year. It'll be a lot of fun. And stay tuned because it's going to be fun. It's going to rock. And it's going to roll. All right? So without further ado, like I always say, stay frosty. Stay creative. Peace.